Okay, so it looks like everybody has been able to join, and if people start coming in throughout the webinar, that's also fine. So we're just going to be doing a Q&A. So as you can see, today is just our Ask Us Anything webinar, which means we really have no agenda other than to answer your questions that you've submitted. Moving over to the next slide, you can see today's presenter is myself, Hannah Gunderson. I'm on the professional services team, and I'm also here with Sarah Beth. I don't have her picture up, but she's going to be watching that questions chat for you guys as you have those questions coming in. And once I go over the pre-submitted questions, she's going to start reading those out from the chat, and then we'll be just addressing those live as you guys submit them. So I'm just going to move over my
Hey,
final request. Yes?
can you adjust my view so I can see the questions box?
Yes, that would probably be a really, really important thing for me to do. Give me 1 second. Okay, Sarah Beth, is that better?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to go ahead and get started. So as you can see here, I said questions, let's hear them. I am going to start with those pre-submitted ones. So let me get this pulled up. I am going to be going mostly off our test account, so you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me go to the dashboard. So as you can see, this is just a fake account we've made to go over in webinars. But something I do want to point out is that this is an old test account. So there is one tab missing, which is the payables tab. You guys probably see it on your screens when you log into LegFi. This account doesn't have it. So if we have any of those questions, we can switch over to a different account that I have pulled up. I've actually started making a newer test account that has that feature on it since this one's so old. So for some of the questions I'm about to address, we'll probably switch to that one just so we can give some examples. But like I said, for the most part, you're going to see this one. If you don't see the payables tab, that's why. It's just an old test account and we're working on updating it. So the first question we have is from Miriam or Miriam. They asked, what is the fee to use LegFi? So all of you have access to see what your fee is. When you click this little gear icon in the top right corner of your screen, you'll see this tab over here that says billing. When you select this, it's going to show you your subscription fee. So this is a test account. We have it just set to $3 per user per month. I don't even know if that's like a normal rate anymore. Like I said, this is a really old test account. So yours will probably be a little bit different than this, or maybe it's around the same. Like I said, I haven't really looked at any actual subscription fees, but some of you guys may have it per month. Some of you guys could have it like this one's per user per month. So maybe you may just have it per month. So instead of $3, maybe it would say like $30 a month or whatever it may be, depending on your chapter. So depending on your billing method, it'll have it all listed here, but you can always refer back to it. You can also see the last day you were billed. So this test account hasn't been billed in like 2 years. Last time it was billed was, what is that, October of 2022. And the next billing was going to be February of 2022. Again, it's an old account, but yours will have more up-to-date information. So this will probably say some date in August. If you also want to see what you've paid, you can go down here and see your subscription history. It'll show you that you paid that subscription fee. So if you paid July's, it would say like July 2024, how much you paid, where you paid it from. And if you want to set that account that you pay it from, you just go down here to payment method. This one is coming out of a treasury account, but if you guys use a bank account that's already linked to your LegFi, it'll be here in the drop down. So you could click that external bank account. Or if you just want to use a new checking card for what check card for one time, or credit card that you guys have linked to an external bank account, but maybe that external bank account isn't linked to LegFi, you can just click new credit card and then fill in all the information, add it, and then be able to pay the subscription fee there. So that's how you're paying for LegFi. Just check what your subscription is. And then up here, you may see some rates. So that would be if we have like card processing rates. So sometimes the card processors will take money. Not sometimes, they always do. You probably see that when payments come through. So if you pay with like a Visa, Visa is going to get a little bit of money from processing that payment. The next question, also relating to money, it's asking how they transfer money from their bank account into LegFi. So it's going to be under this financial accounts tab. This is where you're going to see all of the different accounts your chapter has. You can see this older test account only has treasury accounts up here. They do not have an external bank account. So if this is your chapter and you want to move money into one of these treasury accounts, but you see that there's no external bank account listed, you guys are going to have to add it. So you'll click this add external bank account button. You would click this. This is a test account, so it's not going to let me click it. But in the real life account that doesn't have this like little RC in front of it, you're going to click this and it'll let you type in your bank account. So if it's Chase or Wells Fargo, or we're in Columbus, so a lot of people use Synovus, you would type that in, you'd be able to find it and link your bank account that way. If you don't see it in the drop down, you'll click this add it manually button. It'll have you put in the routing and account number. Once you verify that, you'll want to make sure it's verified for payments and deposits. It'll be like a little field down here. You'll see it. Once it's verified, then all you have to do is go up here, click fund transfers, and then you'll be able to add a fund transfer and you'll choose the account you want to take it from. So in this case, I'm going to have to use a treasury account, but if your bank account was listed, you would select it and then you choose the account it's going to go to, the amount, we'll say it was $10. Insufficient balances because we have no money in this account. Hopefully yours wouldn't say this, but we'll put in $10 note. So you could put a little note for what this is for and then the date you want it to go through. So if I wanted it to be today, I'd leave it as today's date. If it's not something that you want to transfer until maybe like later next month, you could change the date there and then you're going to be able to click next and it'll have you confirm it and then transfer that money. So hopefully that answers that for you. The next questions we have are from Lena. I believe that's how she pronounces her name. She was asking how she can access her login for LegFi. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can ask if you're an admin on the account. Well, if you haven't logged into LegFi, you're probably going to need a different admin. One of your admin can go to the member list here. And if you click actions over here, you'll be able to click resend activation and it's going to send you an invite inviting you to your account. The other thing you can do is you can go up here. Oops. If you go to like omegafi.com, you can click get access and whatever email you have in LegFi, you can type in here. So if you just filled that in and click submit, it'll say they found you. As long as it's the same email that's listed with your account here, it'll let you make a login. If you have other OmegaFi products, so if you maybe use like a recruitment software or a social software, Omega One or Omega Recruit, you're going to probably want to log in using the same email as long as, again, it's listed here. And then when you go to this little grid up here, it'll let you switch between all of them. So those would be the two ways to get your account. The other thing you can do, if neither of those are working for you or you're just a little confused, we have an email that you can reach out to. It's just login support@omegafi.com. If you email them, say, hey, my name is Lena and your last name, just say like, I need help getting into my LegFi account. They'll be able to find your account and help you get into that. The next question that Lena asked was, will I be able to, or will I be emailed about when national dues and fees need to be paid, or will it just appear on LegFi? So it'll be on both. So if you log into your personal LegFi account, what you owe the chapter will be on your account. So let me pick somebody who's just a regular old user. Okay, so let's pretend to be Paul. Now this isn't a feature that you guys are going to have. This is just a feature I have because I work at OmegaFi. I'm just going to view the account like a regular member. When you log in, you'll be able to see your account balance over here and you can click make a payment. And then you'll see the two invoices that you still owe. So if you have the full $500 to pay it, then you'll choose your payment. If maybe you only have $250, you would select which one you need to pay. I would probably pay this older one first. So I'd uncheck October, pay September's, pay the $250, or maybe you only have $250, but you want to split it between the two. You could pay like $150 here and $100 here. Just choose however you're able to pay those and submit a payment for that, and it'll take it off your account. We also will be emailing you. So let me stop being Paul for a second. And it's going to make me go back to the account I was on the test one. Give me 1 second. The other thing that we'll do is we will email you whenever you owe money. So I can show you an example under this communication log. This is going to show a history of all the communications that's gone out to any members or contacts connected to your LegFi account. So you can see this one was like a charges. So if we click view, this is the email that that lady got. This is a funny name. You can see below was a list of the new charges that were added. They got charged national dues. You can see the amount they had to pay was $1,000, and then they can click this make a payment button and pay right there instead of having to log into their account. So there'll be different options for you. You'll also see here that e-statements will go out the 3rd and the 15th of every month. So you will always be notified when you're charged. So if I added a charge to your account today, you would get an email saying, hey, there's a new charge on your account. You're also going to get another email on the 3rd of August saying, hey, this is what your balance is. And if you don't pay it, then on the 15th, you're going to get another email that says, hey, just a reminder, this is what your balance is. And you'll get those the 3rd and 15th of every month, reminding you to pay. And you can click that make a payment button in the email to make a payment without logging in, or you can log into your account through that email and then pay that way. Okay, moving down, we have some more questions. Somebody said, sorry, they're new to LegFi, but what is the HQ invoice on the dashboard mean? So some of you may have this, some of you may not. It just depends what kind of LegFi account you have. If your chapter is part of like a partnership with LegFi where your like international or national headquarters uses LegFi as well, they'll have what's called an HQ account where they can charge your chapter like national dues. So if maybe your members individually pay $100 in national dues, you guys collect that money, then your headquarters will say, hey, you got 10 members and it's $100 per member, so you guys owe us $1,000. They're able to invoice your chapter that $1,000 through an HQ invoice, and they'll always pop up on this corner of your page. You're definitely going to want to pay those to stay in good standing with your headquarters, so you can click Pay Now. Just like for members, chapters pay kind of the same way. So if you have money to pay both, again, I would hopefully you guys have the money, I would definitely recommend paying that on time and in full. But if maybe you only have enough money for the $810, you could unselect this one, or maybe you want to pay portions to each. Maybe you have $1,000 to give, you could do 500 here, 500 here, and then you make $1,000 payment to your headquarters, and once you pay that, that money's going to deposit into the account that they have set up with their LegFi account, and it just keeps you current on paying your chapter's invoices to your headquarters. If you see a total here that seems wrong, so maybe if we use that same example where you have 10 members and it's $100 per member, but maybe they charge you $2,000 and you're like, that doesn't seem right. We're not able to edit these. Your headquarters edits these and puts them on your account, so you will have to reach out to your headquarters to ask them to adjust it or get maybe clarification on why you got charged that amount, and then they'll be able to log into their HQ LegFi account and change this amount that shows up on your chapters page. The next question we have is there a way to list out officer titles? Actually, yes. So I'm going to switch to the new test account I'm building out. So apologies, this one's in its early stages. So we have 29 members in here. They're all listed here. So if you wanted to give officer titles, if that's something you guys do, maybe you have a president, treasurer, things like that, you're going to go to the members section. All of these names, just again, it is a test account. These are all fake names. I used a random name generator to make them. So don't think you're seeing anyone's personal information. But what you can do is go up here to manage groups, and then you'll do roles. So right now, since this is a new account, we don't have any roles to display. But if you guys, I may actually have to set them up in my other account. So let me go back. I wonder if the test account, the old test account probably has it. I would have to set those up since this test account I was just about to show you is linked to an HQ account. The HQ account actually has to set it. But if you guys don't have an HQ account that's kind of over yours, you should be able to do it in here. So let me go back here. Manage groups, you can go to roles, and then yours will look like this. So you have a president, a treasurer, and this one has an assistant treasurer. If you needed to add more officer titles, because I think most chapters do have more officer titles, you could add a role. The role name could be secretary. We'll click save. And then maybe you have like, what's another common one? Maybe your public, we had one of these, public relations chair. I don't know, I'm just making some up. So we can do that and click save. If you need to edit them, you can also click these three dots and click view. You can see this is how it's currently set up. It's set up as an admin. If you want to edit it, we can go to this permissions. Oh, it already is set as permissions. This one may not let me edit either because it's older. Here, I'll do it here. So we add a role. What's another one we could add? Sarah Beth, help me. What are officer titles? Why can't I think of any? Maybe like, oh, a philanthropy chair. Okay. So we'll do a philanthropy chair, or maybe we'll do VP of philanthropy. That's kind of a more serious job. We can give them admin status, which means when somebody's assigned to this role, it's going to give them admin status to LegFi instead of just having them as a regular user. So we'll click this, click save. And then when we go down here, if we view the permissions, you can see that they're given that full admin status automatically. If it's like the secretary, we want to look at their permissions. Since we didn't make it admin status, we can customize it. So maybe the secretary only needs to keep up with, I don't know, maybe they need to keep up with what would be something, probably members. So maybe they need to be able to see the members tab, and they also need to be able to edit it. So that way, if there's updates to membership statuses, they can go in there and mark the new members as initiated or mark initiated members that graduated as alum. So we'll give them edit permissions there, but they don't need to see charges. They don't need to be able to charge members or anything like that. They're only going to be managing the roster. We could only give them permissions to that tab. So you can do that, X out of it, it saves it. And if you want to actually assign people to this role, you can go to assigned roles. And you can see here, these are the ones that we currently have listed out. So Ferguson is currently listed as an assistant treasurer. We have Sam as the president. Winston was also the president. And then we have a treasurer down here was Nyla. So you can see who was put in those roles here. All right, let's see the next question. Okay. This one is asking if they can redo their groups. I'm going to go back to my newer test account because this one hasn't had any groups done. So I think this is a good example. If you guys don't know, under the members tab, you can manage groups, and these groups work like filters. So it may be set up like a previous admin on your account maybe set these up, but you no longer like the way they're categorized. You don't like how you're filtering through your members. You can change them. So if you want to edit it and change the name of this, maybe there's no longer, if you have a house, there's no longer a double bedroom option. You could edit this to maybe like a triple bedroom. Or if altogether there's only going to be single bedrooms, like I remember during COVID, a lot of people couldn't share rooms, they only had single bedrooms. Maybe you just delete this category altogether because you don't need it. If you wanted to add a new group, you just click this new group button, put the group name, and then you can start assigning people to it. So right now I don't have anybody in these groups, but we can start assigning them. So if we go in here, and we want to do the double bedroom, we can start clicking through, and maybe we'll just do these first 4 people. So we'll do Nick, Johnny, Freddie, and Margaret are all going to be in the house. We can click save changes. They're in the 2 double bedroom rooms that maybe we have. And then we need to do the single bedrooms. We're going to maybe choose Roddy, Geneva, and Abel. You'll also notice that the people we just assigned to a group are also there. That's because people can be in multiple groups. So you will want to be careful that you're not, in the case of like a group you're using for billing, if it's something like housing, you wouldn't want to put Nick in here because then he's going to get charged for a single bedroom and a double bedroom. But you will be able to assign all of these people. So Roddy, Geneva, Abel, Nick, Johnny, Freddie, Margaret, all of those people we've already put in groups. If they're, let's say, maybe on like the intramural soccer team, we can click edit and we can still add them there. So when you're doing this, you can really go through and kind of pick who you want to be in what group. Click Save Changes. If you need to remove people, you click Edit. You just click this little minus icon. It'll remove them, and you can click Save. Now, what you're using these for, if you aren't super familiar with them, again, is kind of a way to filter it. So if you wanted to invoice your members, when we create a new invoice, we can now go here and look at single bedroom. It's only going to show us those 3. So when we click Add all of them, at a charge, we could just charge them single bedroom rent. Or if we want to use the group for communication reasons, like if they're on the soccer team, we could go to text members. I actually don't know if these fake people have phone numbers in here, but we could go to our intramural soccer team, add all of them, and the message could be like, reminder, like game tonight at 8 p.m. And you could send like a text announcement reminder. So those groups don't have to be just for billing. You can use it for billing. You can use it for communications. They really just work as filters. So that way it saves you time from having to look at absolutely all of your members and then having to go through and click it. I know some of you have really big chapters, so that could eventually turn into a pain if you're having to go through all of those. So that was the last pre-submitted question I have. Sarah Beth, did we have any questions in the chat?
Yeah, we did have one question regarding payment plans on invoices
Mm-hmm.
and how to set those up.
Yeah, I can go back to the old test account. There's a lot of past due debt you can see in here. So if somebody had, I want to pick somebody with maybe like a bigger invoice. So like this person owes $500, Winston. If Winston's like, I know it's kind of ironic because this is already on a payment plan. Um, but if Winston was like, I really can't pay this, something came up and he's communicating, but he's willing to pay it, he just needs a little bit more time. You click this little three dots here and you can click payment plan and it'll let us break up his payment plan. So you can see right now it's already set to be a payment plan of 2. So he said he'll do $250 at one time and then $250 at the second time. We no longer have to really maybe worry about this date. June's come and gone, but we'll say, you know what, if you give us $250 by August 15th, oh wait, the active date we would need to be like today. But we'll say if you pay the first $250 by August 15th, no big deal. We know stuff comes up. And then the second one, we just need you to pay, it would be active after August 15th, so maybe the 16th. And if you could just pay it by September 1st, no big deal. Like just go ahead and pay those. Once we click create payment plan, he's now not going to be penalized for that being past due. He's just going to have to pay on that payment plan. So now he just needs to submit that $250 payment before the 15th, and then he can submit the next $250 before the 1st of September. Another thing we could do, let me pick a different one. We'll just go down here. If you don't want to do it by set amounts, you can also switch it to percentage. So if you wanted them maybe to pay like 75% up front and they can pay the remaining 25%, you can do it that way. And then again, you'll just choose the due date. So you'll be able to set up payment plans, whatever makes the most sense for you guys. Any other questions, Sarah Beth?
I do not see any other questions at the moment.
Okay, perfect. This may just be a quick webinar. I shouldn't say quick. I guess it's been about 30 minutes. I'm just used to them kind of recently going longer. But we'll give it another second for questions. While I do that, I will switch back to the PowerPoint just to give some contact information. Um, you can screenshot this, save this if you don't already have it, but if you have questions, you can always email info@legfi.com and they'll be able to answer your questions, or we have an in-app help. So it's a question mark button that's just gonna be the top right corner, kind of by the notification bell and that gear icon I was showing you guys earlier. If you click that question mark, it'll take you to our help center. And in that help center, you can basically search anything you have a question about. So if you want to look up member status, you can just type a member status into the search. It'll pull all the articles that have that in there. If you want to learn more about treasury accounts, type in treasury account, payables, whatever it is, definitely check out that help center. There's also a webinar section that you'll be able to click into where we'll post this webinar, and all of our past webinars that we've done are also listed there. So you can always refer back. There's a really good one on payables since we just launched that not too long ago, maybe like a couple months ago. Was it June or maybe May? So there's a lot of information about that in there. If you want to go back and watch it or skip through it, that will be available to you. Before I let everybody go and call it, was there any last minute questions that were submitted into the
Yes.
chat?
Going off of that payment plan, can members see if they're on a payment plan?
Yeah, let me log into one of their accounts real quick. Give me 1 second. I can show you what the account would look like. Oh, and I put up the wrong one. Was it Winston, Sarabeth, that we put it on, or was it Ferguson? I think it was Winston.
I do not remember.
Okay, let me look. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm having to log back in, but they should be able to see it. So when they log into their account, they'll see the payments that they can make, and they can just submit them kind of how I showed before. I don't know if you were here earlier when we impersonated a member's account. If not, I can pull it up really quick. It's just making me re-log in because I was clicking around a little bit too much in this test account. Oops, and I clicked the wrong button. I guess I'm not working too well under pressure, but thank you for your patience, everybody. Okay. So I just added a payment plan for another member just because it'd be easier to pull up her account. So we should be back in here, but when we go to, I believe I put on Tamara's account, we can impersonate her to see what her account looks like. I know, it's gonna make her log in too. Okay, let's give her a birthday. One's like a normal year to be born, 2005, right? I think that's when my brother was born and he's going to college, so that sounds good to me. Okay, we'll put in the LegFi. 2766342, I think is what it is. Is it 1300, Sarah Beth?
Yeah,
Y'all,
1306 Ave.
so, y'all are really getting the full experience. Okay. 6 Ave, Columbus. State we're in is Georgia, and the zip code, I think it's 31909.
1.
What? Okay, maybe I live in 31909. Okay, we'll agree to that and click submit. Okay, so now we're in her account. Since she has to make a payment, oof, you can see she's got a good bit of debt, but you can see down here she's on the payment plan. So even though this was past due at one point, I set up a payment plan for her, and you can see it's in parentheses here. She just has to pay that $105. Her original amount was $210. So it does alter the amount on her account. And then the next active date for the second part of her payment plan, once that goes live, then it'll show up on her list of things to pay. And you can see too, it changed her from being past due on this one to current. So that's what it'll look like for your members. I know that was a long way to get there, but again, thank you for your patience so I could pull this up for you guys. Any other questions?
I think that is all that we have.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us. I know we had some people kind of coming in and out throughout, which is exactly what these are for. But if you guys have any other questions, just email that LegFi email that I showed you earlier, and we'll be sure to help you guys. Have a great rest of your day.